Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Strategy 703, the one and only Geological Gaming and the Coach in Milotic, coming here with some more Pokemon Showdown action for you guys for the first week of the ASL. So this is Season 2 against the Winter's Weaviles, coached by It's Vish, also known as Jelmer. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel. I don't think so. I haven't heard about him uploading any content. But he's another member of the IPL, one of the three that has come into the league for Season 1 thus far. We still have reserves and stuff who could come in, but our league played the IPL during the off season, kind of got destroyed, and Vish was definitely one of the more worthy opponents. So this is going to be really interesting. I will be linking the team builder in the description of this video as per always. And so go watch the team builder if you want to know what the sitch is, because this is week 1. Some things are a little bit weird. Some things were a little bit careless on my part. But you can see the team. You can see the team on the right of your screen that he ended up bringing in comparison to my team. Silvally Scizor. You've got the Smeargle, Landorus T, Mega Altari, and Garbodor versus Tapu Lele, Armaldo, Jolteon, Licky, Gengar, and Mega Blastoise. So I was definitely not expecting the Armaldo going into this. The Licky, I was kind of expecting the Armaldo, but I didn't expect Armaldo and Blastoise to come. It seemed kind of redundant, which made me thought right at the very beginning that he was a more bulky offensive Blastoise, that it wasn't his spinner, but it was more just some variant of more offensive Blastoise. But also looking over the team here, I know that Landorus puts in a lot of work at this point, because if you watch the team builder, you understand why Landorus being the way that I intended it to be is really good in this matchup in terms of just like coverage and hitting things super hard. But it's been a while since I've actually watched this replay, so pardon me if I'm a little bit. But I do remember him leading Armaldo and me leading Landorus, because I am Scarf. The only thing that's going to outspeed me is a Scarf Jolteon, because Scarf Lele, I am at speed, so Scarf Lele does not outspeed me. Makes sense that he would bring his Armaldo in as a rock lead, and I just lead and start with Lando, because it's a pretty good lead against everything. I can just switch out if I don't like the matchup. So I'm just going to go for the... Do I just go for the Earthquake here? Yeah, I just want to get some damage off on this thing, and as you can see, that does 33.5%. Of course, if I was IV'd properly and EV'd properly, like I should have been, instead of just rushing this game, that would have done... that probably would have been close to a KO, if not a roll. Instead, this gives me the impression during the game that this is a more bulky offensive, more physically defensive. But I'm just going to go into my Garbodor, and he's going to hit me up with the Water Pulse. Obviously, I didn't want to stay in with the Landorus in case he had Ice Beam, which means that I can't go into my Altaria either. So I had to go into my Garbodor, which is pretty much my switch into Gengar, as well as something that can take in or hit a Tapu Lele, like prevent the Tapu Lele from switching in for free. It just kind of makes sure that it scares it out. He switches out and goes back into his Armaldo, trying to set up Ross. I just go for the Gaunt Shot, trying to get some damage off on this Blastoise. I go right back out into my Landorus, and he sets up the Ross. Really smart. He's going to switch right back out and go into his Licky, and I'm just going to U-turn into my Smeargle. Right here, I just decided to go for the Glare, I believe. No, I go for the Nuzzle. That's right, yes. Sorry. It's been a while, so I do go for the Nuzzle, just wanting to paralyze anything, and maybe trying to see what he would prep for the Smeargle, because Spore is pretty common. Again, I do Earthquake, and the missing attack IVs and EVs definitely matters, because this thing drinks that up when otherwise it would not have if I was adamant mass attack. I'm going to switch into my Scizor. He's just going to Wish Up and go back into his Blastoise. I'm going to get this chance to get rid of my Ross, and he's going to get all of his HP on his Blastoise back. I don't really mind that because my team, the only thing that's really taking damage at this point is the Garbodor. He's going to get the Iron Defense up. I'm just going to let the Thunder Wave go. I get the first turn parry, which is really lucky on my part. And I'm just going to set up a Spike because I know that this Garbodor's dead, and maybe I can catch the Armaldo coming in later in the game and do some damage. I'm going to get the crit with the Hyper Voice. He's going to get the Ice Beam off, but that's okay because I can just roost off the damage because he's not going to stay in on a Hyper Voice. So in comes this thing, and he reveals that he's actually more specially defensive than physically defensive because, again, he drinks up that Hyper Voice, and the Altaria is IV'd and EV'd properly. So Landorus not being able to do more damage means that this thing gets to live and can just pretty much wall my Altaria. I'm going to skip through because he does go for the Heal Bell to heal the Blastoise up. I go for the Draco trying to kill this thing or catch a switch into maybe the Gengar. The Draco, it lives the second Draco, unfortunately, and I'm forced to switch out as it gets all of its HP back. The Superpower, because of the lack of IVs and EVs, does not kill, and he gets some damage off on my Landorus, which is, I mean, it didn't end up mattering that much. I mean, it did, but it would have been dead from the Altaria earlier anyway, so it's just, like, salt in the wound. I still don't know that my Landorus is not IV'd or EV'd yet. I haven't done any counts. I'm just kind of meh right now. I go for the multi-attack with Silvally, but because I am a more support set, he isn't going to be doing that much. And I'm going to switch out into my Smeargle to try and nuzzle this thing. Or at least, like, nuzzle something. Oh, I go for the Nature's Madness because I want to whittle this thing down. That's right. No, whittle down the Licky, rather. He just decides to spin away his Spice, pretty much making Garbodor's role in this game useless. He just kills off my Smeargle with the Water Pulse, and I go into my Landorus, expecting to kill this. Finally, with an Earthquake, he just goes into his Licky, drinks that up, and he's going to go for the Protect, and he shows, I think that's all 4 of his moves, Wish, Protect, Seismic Toss, and Heal Bell, that I know of. He goes into his Armaldo, I guess expecting a switch out, and he switches out again into the Jolteon, and because this is the moment where I realize, oh my god, I'm not EV'd properly, because he says he doesn't know what set my Landorus is, and it scares him. So I'm like, oh, he just switched into his Jolteon. It's not Specs, so or it's not Scarf, it's not Specs. I'll just outspeed and kill it now. And he reveals the HP Ice, and my Landorus is dead. And I'm just really, really sad. He goes for the Protect. Kind of an interesting bring on the part of the Jolteon, but I understand it. It makes a lot of sense to me in case he wants to like swap in on some sort of like Yachi Berry Landorus or whatever. But at this point, the game's over. Now that Lando's dead, and my Garbodor can't kill Lele anymore. Silvally gets the only kill in the game, actually, because after this, I think Lele actually just cleans up. Yeah. It just kills my Scizor with the Psychic because Psychic Terrain just completely nullifies that, and then it kills me off with a Moonblast. So GG's to It's Fish. Really strong win for him in the first week, and we dropped to 0-1 in the first week, which is really disappointing because if I just checked my EVs on IVs, that's not to say that he wouldn't have still won, but we wouldn't have gotten 5-0. We could have gotten 2-0 instead. The Licky could have been dead. The Blastoise could have been worn down a lot easier and not gotten those Wish passes off. The Jolteon would have been dead. The Armaldo could have been dead. It would have just come down to whether or not I could have killed the Lele. So, yeah, we got a lot of work to do now, making our way back up. But next week we're up against the Las Vegas Gardevoir and Gustavo and 77. which is pretty exciting. I haven't actually played Gustavo before, but I've seen him in I've seen him in action against a team that I took over like right after a match that he had, and he seems to be pretty good. I don't really like his roster, so I'm hoping to bank on that and get a really crucial win. But with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the match, and as always, I will see you later. Peace.